Good evening, Arsenal fans, Gooners all over the world. Welcome to In the North Bank and Cannon Fodder TV. Yeah, it's me, the Bray, and I've got Des the Enforcer with me tonight. I'm not sure if everyone has finished shaking yet. I know Des has just stopped. I've been, I've been on shake watch for the last hour. But look, 4 points clear after the City game. It just finished.
Yeah. What a great result!
A massive result today. And I talked about these next two games as being massively important for us being away from home, and that's just the first of those two big games. So, yeah, join us when we get stuck into that 1-0 win. But yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about. So, Des.
Hello, mate. Can I just say I love that intro? No nonsense football. You know what I mean? That's what Arsenal are playing at the moment. No nonsense football. Yes, we are riding our luck a bit, I think, at times. Do you know what I mean?
But you have to make your luck, don't you?
Yeah, you got to these days. I mean, compared to the season we had last season, let's ride our luck all season. I don't mind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I think there's a lot of things about that performance where you suddenly look at the difference between previous years to this year.
Oh, totally.
I'm not gonna beat up and say, oh yeah, it's like brilliant. We've done a proper display and a job on them where we've dictated everything and we've kind of controlled them, even though they put loads of pressure on. Because no, we were under the cosh, and it was kind of a similar performance to what we have done over previous years, where we have gone away. And I said this is our barometer of how far we've come when we start dealing with these games away from home.
Yeah, I'd agree, mate. I totally agree.
We smashed them, didn't we? Was it 5-1? Yeah. Was it 5-1 or 6-1?
Yeah,
5-1.
Yeah, I think it was.
But yeah, we had an unbelievable period in that game early in the game. I think it was, and that was that was game over. But you knew what that was going to come our way because the way they've been Leeds. I think they've been quite impressive at times. What do you think about them?
To be honest, Paul, with you, mate, I've got to be honest. They're playing like they've got something to prove, as if they were lucky to stay up last season, and they're fighting. They're fighting to stay up this season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they had 16 shots on goal, so that tells you something. They're determined, really, really determined. And I don't know whatever Patrick Bamford had today, but I'll have a pint of whatever he had because he was really up for it, wasn't he? You know?
Yeah. So you look at these things, and we talk about that kind of that additional striker that we need, and you suddenly look at the names that are banded around. Oh, we need to get X striker, we need to get this player, and then you're suddenly thinking, is that player really going to come in and want to play as a number 2 or a number 3 striker?
Yeah.
You look at it, the fees that you're probably saying, and Tony was obviously that good one. Where you suddenly think how much you're going to be spending on him as a player to come in, and maybe that bit part kind of striker. He won't want it, will he? He won't want. All right, the money might be all right, but again, if you're paying a good wage or a fee coming in for a player, that player's going to have to start playing.
But that's it, Paul. That's a nail on the head. And I think it doesn't matter what wages you offer. Do you know what I mean? You could offer them £1 million a week. You know what I mean? I know that's a silly figure, but are they going to want £1 million a week and not play? You're going to want to play, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I just think it's just more. It's more that kind of if you're paying that money for someone that's not going to really be playing, and it maybe be that kind of someone off the bench, then that kind of fee is not going to be spent because it's wasted money at the end of the day. It's not improving your first team squad. That's why I say someone like a Bamford. I'm not saying that we go get Bamford, but that kind of energy he had, and the real energy, the real effort, and that could be an additional kind of bit of the Arsenal. You know, you look at it and you think, well, yeah, someone like that, who isn't really a proper household name, but has got that little bit about him. And yeah, there were a few times where he's caused mayhem,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there were a
totally.
few times where he literally just kept on dropping the ball, miscontrolling the ball, and a couple of times. But yeah, he just caused mayhem and carnage.
I mean, let's be honest, Paul. Right? End of the day, you make a fair point. Thing is, how many mainstream strikers, as you say, and I know we're going over the same point, but it's the truth. How many mainstream, even though we're top of the league and it's like an incentive for people to join us in January if we stay there, right? What mainstream strikers are going to want to come to play second fiddle? They're just not. So you've got to start looking at people like Patrick Bamford. You know, you can't even look at the lad at Fulham. Get his name, say his name for me, Paul, because I always get it wrong.
Malkovich, wasn't it? Yeah, John Malkovich. Yeah, that's
that's the one. Great actor, great actor.
Yeah.
But you couldn't even encourage him to come to Arsenal because he's not a second string fiddler. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a bench warmer. You know, I mean, even if you look at Nketiah, he's had chances and chances, and lately he couldn't hit a barn door, could he? Let's be honest. And we've paid him a massive wage. You know, and I don't know who do you go for? I would say someone like Bamford. Who else can we think of? Let's have a think. It's hard. It's hard to think of somebody.
It is. Like you just look at it and you just think you want someone there who can maybe just be that extra additional kind of player. And again, you're not looking for another star. Again, if we get Champions League, then that opens up the door to those extra funds as well. And
exactly.
I looked at it and I thought, and I come back from obviously I coach my boys' football, and we had a late kickoff, and luckily the delay. We'll get into that shortly. I missed the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, got in, and then after that, I just you looked at the whole game, and yeah, it was decent in the first half. I thought it was very controlled, but then obviously that second half, we did not help ourselves one bit.
No, but I don't think Leeds did either. I think there was a few wayward passes, weren't there? And I mean, it was a wayward pass that led to the Saka goal, didn't it? You know.
Oh yeah, that's it. So they obviously got a right kick in the in the changing room at half time, which
they must have done. Yeah, he must have absolutely threw it at them. Do you know what I mean?
They got their press right, and they were relentless. And yeah, I thought when Nketiah come on, obviously I had my stream on, and yeah, Nketiah when he actually come on, and obviously he had the little flick from that corner as well, which could easily have crept in that front post.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
He had a bit more threat, and Jesus probably wasn't 100%.
No, I don't think it was. No, and I've got to say, it's the first time in the 10 games that we've played, Paul, that we've looked tired. I thought we were tired. I thought things are catching up with us, and this is when we need this buffer that we've now got, and we need to grow on this buffer. But Tomiyasu looked tired. I've got to say it. Even to me, Odegaard looked tired. It just wasn't. It wasn't flowing today like it's flowed previously. You know.
Yeah. No, I think what you picture, you put a lot of massive effort into the Liverpool game. You then have to take that trip over to Norway, which again I probably would imagine that was quite a long trip in all honesty. And then obviously
it would have been energy sapping, mate. It would have been energy sapping.
You're dealing with the environment as well. I don't know what the temperature was over there at that time, but
8 degrees apparently. It was 8 degrees.
Yeah, so it's all right. It's all right, but
yeah. I'll notice one thing. If we're going to talk about that European game just for a second, I did notice one thing. Martinelli's a great player, but he can't play on plastic. He was losing the ball quite a lot on the plastic pitch.
I think it's really hard because you look at that and you think, well, how often do these players really play on those kind of surfaces. I know
Exactly.
you have those indoor kind of training centres and everything like that, but when you're actually playing in an actual game,
weather conditions and all that.
But you got that, and the ball doesn't roll right, and
No,
you know that way, and it sticks in there. Yeah, you'll have the water in also. I'm sure they do something to it to make it a bit greasier, but I'm sure they probably didn't want to do anything like that for Arsenal.
Well, they watered the pitch, didn't they? They did actually water the pitch.
Yeah, but no, I look at it. I think it was just job done. Get in there, get back out, and get the points, and you move on. Like today.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take these wins every week if we're staying top of the league. To be honest with you, Paul, I'll take them every week. I don't care how dirty they are, because everybody thinks. I mean, I've heard this throughout the week, right? I've been listening to a bit of sports talk and that sort of stuff. And there's Tottenham fans saying that we're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, I don't see it like that, because people like me and you and everybody in Cannon Fodder, I can probably vouch for everybody. We know this is something's going to happen where we're going to have to keep fighting. So we're going to lose more. We are going to lose more games, but we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Do you know what? I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm just enjoying it. And I think that's the difference this season. We're being able to enjoy our football as fans.
Yeah, I think it's that, and then you also have that confidence as well, don't you? You have that kind of feeling. Although today didn't really, I had that kind of same old Arsenal feeling watching Arsenal, and I go back to that Brentford game, and I said
exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
it was totally like not watching Arsenal, that Brentford game, and you suddenly think it's like that we should have been suffering that day, but we kind of we didn't. It was just so unlike Arsenal, and then I felt like I needed to have a pacemaker after about 65 minutes. And you just saw it. It was just relentless. And by the time it got to like the real big talking points, it was like, oh my God, I'm done. And,
the other thing as well, though, Paul, you can only play what's in front of you, can't you?
Yeah, of course. You need those, and that's what I'm saying. And how long do you keep saying, well, you've only played this team, you played this team, but then
exactly.
It's points on the board, and I'll beat them. So we could easily look at going through these next 3 games. What is it? The Southampton, Forest. And then is it Chelsea before Wolves? I think it's Chelsea before Wolves, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I haven't got anything in front of me, but
November the 5th or something. I think it is, or something. So
I think it is, mate. But you see, that's another point I wanted to make compared to last season. Just going on what you've just said, this season we are beating teams that beat us last season. Do you know what I mean? So this season, the teams that are going to beat us possibly, and I'm using the words lightly, possibly, are the top 6. All right. Okay. We're not getting beaten by Brentford this season so far. I mean, you can see that we're beating a lot more teams than what we would have beat last season, is the point I'm trying to make. So you can tell the difference of how we've come on, how we've evolved, and how we've become a better team, really. But I do agree I know Alex says it, you probably say it all the time. We always need to strengthen. Always. Because if you don't strengthen, you get left behind. And to be honest, I think last season proved that, didn't it? Because we didn't buy anybody in January and we suffered for it.
No, well, I think it's quite clear what my feelings were, and say that was really good. Where you say you don't strengthen and you weaken yourself, and I think that was done over a period of 10 years once we moved to stadiums, and we became complacent in the boardroom. We lost leadership. We lost the whole kind of identity of what Arsenal were about at that stage, where we had those quality players that we had, and we decided when we come to the Emirates that we were going to look to compete against the big teams. And then when you suddenly saw that we were not improving that kind of playing staff, and we were allowing players to leave every year, it weren't good enough. And there should have been someone with a backbone in the boardroom that would have overexerted themselves or pushed themselves, and suddenly took a little bit of leadership and said, we're going to get some money into the club, and we're going to actually go and move us on. Yeah,
Totally agree.
No chance we were going to get relegated. just be that little bit more forceful with what the funds we had available, and that could have kept maybe. And we're not even talking massive amount of money. We're talking maybe 70 odd million. That may have kept a couple of players in contracts, or maybe got one signing through the door at a time when players were questioning.
Exactly. And you know what, mate? There are. I mean, I know. I mean, we're not the days of when we bought Lee Dixon and all that kind of player. Do you know what I mean? And the new 50 million is 30 million. Do you know what I mean? But there are bargains out there. Look at Marquinhos. To me, the lad's a bargain. Yes, he's a rough diamond, and yes, I still think we haven't worked out what we're going to do with him. To be honest, as an example, but he's going to turn out to be worth every penny. I would say the same for Tomiyasu. Going to turn out to be worth every penny. Ben White this season. No one's talking about the 50 million price tag now. They're all going, oh, yeah, he was worth it. He's worth it. Rambo. No one's talking about his price tag anymore. Oh, Ramsdale's amazing. He's worth it. And I totally agree with these comments that people are saying and writing and everything, because it's positivity. And this is what I'm liking about this Arsenal team now, Paul, right? It is like it's a little family. It's getting, it's close-knit. Arteta's keeping them together, keeping them focused. Even Xhaka is focusing on the players, and the fans are more involved now. If at home now, I would say Arsenal fans make the 12th man, because I've never known Emirates, not that I've ever been, but I've never, even on the telly, I've never known Emirates as loud as it has been this season.
Yeah, I would say from being a season ticket holder, it's nice to see. Certainly, this. I say I've been to it about 18 months now, where it's really started to feel that way. And there were the murmurs kind of towards the latter part of the season, last season. But look, the atmosphere has come on leaps and bounds since obviously like when Emery was there, and even the early part of Arteta, where there was quite that divided opinion. And it will still be there. It'll always be there. I don't think it will ever change. He's obviously always got something to prove with other parts of the fan base, no matter how well he's doing. But yeah, that's it. So let's go into the live chat quickly. There's
no problem.
A lot of movement. Richard's in the chat. Hey all.
How you doing, Richard?
And yeah, you better believe it. I said, massive 3 points. I think that's when it come in. It was like, it is unbelievable weekend. Could have done
massive 6, Paul. If you think about the Man City Liverpool, it's a massive 6 points, Paul. Really,
Look, well, no, we got. It was great in the WhatsApp channel. I had there was that little message in there, and it was like, do we need to worry about it? And it was like, well, I'm not really worried about whatever happens, because I still don't see us competing with them directly. And we know we've still got to go to Anfield. We know we've still got to go to Manchester City. And you're suddenly thinking, and then still play them at home as well. And you just think, well, there's so much involved, and there's a lot of football to be played and a lot of consistency to achieve as well. And they've lost today, but it was on the cards. I had 2-1 Liverpool in my.
Oh, did you?
It was on the cards. I don't think Liverpool would have liked to have been beaten again after losing to us. So it's one of those. But massive result and a massive weekend. Richard, we have to tough the games out like this. I think I'd rather tough out games a little bit more comfortably, and by being still having that bit of control, because there was nowhere on that pitch that we were able to get proper possession, proper control of that game in that second half. It was it was high octane all the way, and every ball that was cleared out was always going to a Leeds player or going out to play. And then
it stops you breathing, doesn't it? It makes you like, Ooh, you know.
I felt suffocated. I don't know if I was like sitting in the box. I was suddenly claustrophobic. I was just like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
just make it stop.
yeah.
But yeah, it was. Arsenal, you've got to do it a little bit easier for us. It's just, yeah, but I don't think I could do many of those. It was interesting. This obviously, when I was having a sneaky break in play when in the game, I quickly switched it on, and it was like, oh, it's been delayed. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. What, I didn't know why or whatever, but obviously no floodlights to worry about, and you're suddenly thinking all it is just VAR, and you're just suddenly thinking, what a load of garbage.
Well, a game can go ahead without VAR, can't it? It's not like, you know.
Look, in the end of the day, if the two teams agree and say, yeah, we don't really mind, then again, if the league say, yo, that's fine, that's fine. But again, you probably have then the counter arguments of it of being other teams that if a decision goes a team's way that hasn't been ruled on by VAR, which was incorrect, then you will have that argument saying, well, VAR is ruling all the other games, but not this one. So it's one of those, isn't it? You'll always have someone moaning about a decision if it's against us.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, look, you've come overnight away. You've set up you've done all your kind of warm ups. You're all ready to go. You come on, you get hyped up, and then you go off after just over a minute, and then you're waiting 40 minutes again until you get back on again. So, look, I'm sure at some part of the game that probably was affecting something. I don't know. It's the same for both teams. Though, at the end of the day, I look at it like that, and you just look at you just see it, and whether or not it was a massive issue, 40 minutes, yeah, it probably is more from. I'm surprised no one got real injured or something like maybe a like a muscle injury or something like that, because that's normally what happens. You warm up and then you stop, and then you then have to go back through it again to then get back out there. So I'm pleased that nothing else has happened like that. But yeah, I don't think it affected us. Did you?
No, not really. Not really. Just, I think if anything, it made us more up for the game. Maybe, even though I know I said we looked tired, it probably made us more up for the game. I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happened in all 10 games. To be honest, we are up for the game. Then whatever's being said in that dressing room, Paul, is it's getting in people's heads and it's making them perform.
No, mate, we know what goes on in that dressing room, and yeah, we have an inkling of what goes on in that dressing room, and yeah, that message that comes out, and that's kind of like what all of us would be kind of just like saying, that kind of passion. It's nice to see from a management point of view, and I think everyone is in tune with it, and it's I love it. I want to see that passion, and yeah, it is nice.
Yeah.
But look, we've just got to keep going, and we've got to have that same mentality throughout each game. And yeah, you're going to ride luck, but you're certainly gonna make your own luck by doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, over the last couple of years, we haven't really had a huge amount of luck to really crow about. So
I would agree with you there, mate. Totally.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
So Richard, also, do you think Kavanagh needs a demotion for his performance today? I don't know. I look at it, I just think it's just a bit silly. You're giving decisions, but then again, it goes to VAR, and I mean the Saliba handball.
Yeah.
And
but you see, it's like what they said last week, Paul. If you compare that to Gabriel's last week, it's one of them again. All right, it was given today, but it's one of them again. You could also go, well, I've seen them given and I've seen them not given.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think from the distance away that ball's coming over, and he's done it. He knows straight away it's hit his hand, and I'd say that is a penalty.
I totally agree. But there are those that would say, I've seen them given and I've seen them not given. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Consistency, isn't it? It's consistency across the whole board. The Gabriel one, I don't know how you can give it a penalty because of the distance between players. And you looked at it like that. The guy was, I think it was Jota, wasn't it? He just tried to flick the ball back. And Gabriel's arms weren't in an unnatural position, considering he's running towards his goal and then changing direction to then get himself set to kind of make a block. So he's doing it. It's more balance. It's not above his head. Then you had the penalty decision. Was it Newcastle? Who was the guy? The defender. He had his arm up in the air that same weekend.
Oh yeah. Oh.
He's the one from Brighton, wasn't he? He's about 6.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's
is it Burn, wasn't it?
But that was given as a penalty, and you suddenly think, well, that is kind of a little bit unnatural because not only is he 6'7", that arm is about 7'9".
Yeah, exactly. You're talking nearly 9 feet if he stretches his arms up to the top.
Oh, yeah, you look at it like that and you think, well, yeah, they're not technically the same kind of like situation, but
I know what you mean.
Consistency and not re-reffing games. That's the bug.
You
look at that and
Do you think some refs? Depend on VAR too much?
I think they become more cowardly.
Right, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair comment.
I think they are afraid to take leadership and ownership of
their decisions,
or a situation which should be handled on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Make the decision as you see right, and then if it does go to VAR, then so be it. If that is a blatant error, then that is what VAR is for. Okay, the referee may not have seen it. He might not have had the right angle, but to him, he thought that was a decision. So, if it's clear and obvious, there you go. It's in the air. Go and have a look. Done. But not these subjective ones, which are just it's ridiculous. And the Bamford one with Gabriel was.
I mean, it was a joke. It was a joke. Bamford shoved Jesus to the ground.
Yeah.
He shoulder barged him, a 50-50, and all they're saying is, but Gabriel left his leg out. Well, he's trying to get himself back up. So to get yourself back up, you've got to swing. Yeah? If you're on your backside or your back, to get back up, you've got to swing yourself. So you're going to swing your leg. So it's going to look like a kick.
Yeah, the thing that really done it for me was how Bamford reacted. And
I was just going to say that. And Bamford overreacted, and the referee reacted to Bamford's reaction.
Yeah. But you saw that little still there. It was more that he'd hit his hand or his arm.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he went over and started holding his belly or something like that. It was like, hang on a minute, or his leg or something it was or something like that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly straight up.
He should have gone the whole 9. He should have gone the whole 9 yards. Do you remember that Brazilian player when it came off the corner flag? It hit him, and he said it hit him in the face and it hit him in the stomach. Do you know what I mean? Bamford might as well have done this. Do you know what I mean? He was searching for that penalty then, wasn't he?
Yeah,
searching for it.
They knew obviously they obviously had the missed one in the first half, and
he wanted to put Bamford wanted to put right or wrong. That's what happened there.
And in all honesty, they probably deserve the point. I think just overall, I think with the chances they created and the way they actually put us under pressure, we wouldn't have begrudged maybe a point. Yeah, they've been disappointed because we would have looked at it and said, well, that second half, we weren't really at the level we needed to be.
Exactly.
For whatever reason, it was not an Arsenal-like performance in the second half. What we've been used to this year.
It was very flat. It was very flat, wasn't
it? Yeah. So let's hold on a minute. I want to go back more into this chat.
That's all right, mate. You do whatever you want. It's your show. I'm a patient man.
Evening, Colin. The tables never looked better in the Emirates era. Yeah, definitely. Cole called 1-0 to Arsenal and 1-0 to Liverpool during the watch along. Oh, okay. Good start. To be honest, I thought as soon as we got that goal, I thought we might have turned the screw and we might have had another one. But Yeah, I'd had Liverpool to win, but yeah, as that game ended up 0-0 at half time, I thought, yeah, there's going to be one goal in there. That's all it's going to be. But it was good. That's good prediction. Yeah, good odds as well.
Yeah, that would have been very good odds, I bet.
So yeah, seeing War Games a wide forward who can play across all three positions is a better idea.
Talking about positions, just for the second, Paul, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to chuck a curveball in here, all right? Okay. Now, Tierney played midfield on Thursday night, okay, at Bodo. Do you think that Arteta is trying to make Tierney a more versatile? I mean, I know defenders. I know the rules, but do you think he's trying to make Tierney more of a versatile player, where he could say, right, okay, you can do left back, but you can also do midfield as well? Do you think he's trying to get our players to do that? I mean, look at Tomiyasu. If you look at Tomiyasu as an example, I genuinely believe, and I might get comments here in the chat, but I genuinely believe you could put Tomiyasu in any position in the back four, which makes him versatile. Okay, you could say the same about Zinni. Yeah, you can play him midfield or you can play him left back. And I know there's that argument that Tierney's more defensive. I totally understand that, but do you think he might be trying to do that with Tierney, or am I barking up the wrong tree here? Do you think?
Well, I think from all those positions, certainly those defenders, you've got the ability to play inside. When we've got the ball, they obviously want them to tuck inside and play almost alongside Partey. And I think, yeah, you see Zinchenko doing it, but you also then need to say, okay, Tierney, that's not really your game. And this is why I say that, because obviously Zinchenko's come in, he's been a bit better at dealing with that. And he's got that in his locker. That's part of his DNA as a player. Whereas Tierney hasn't got that naturally. He's more of getting outside and going on a run and getting in crosses and stuff, and being that little bit more competitive. So yeah, it's a way of playing, but yeah, he's got versatility as well. He can play at the left of that centre defence as well. But if he can add something like that into his locker, where he does step inside and play a little bit higher up, then it means that everyone can shop and change. And
that's what I'm thinking.
And look, you've seen Tomiyasu come in on the left as well. He's done it today as well, where he's come in alongside Partey as well. And yeah, it does look nice. So I think that is just a quality that we need in the system that Arteta wants to play.
Because it covers you better for injuries as well, doesn't it?
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
The rotation as well. You think if you can keep rotating around and you're not losing anything, then it's going to be good. And yeah, for rotation across all kind of competitions, it's going to be a lot better.
Exactly.
So yeah, what a strike from Saka.
From that angle as well. How did he get that in there?
I mean, you've got one area to shoot from at that goal, haven't you? Or focus on. It's literally strike high. Keeper was low, but I think that's a natural kind of positioning for the goalkeeper when he sets himself. He's going to be a little bit lower. But
would you say he had 10% chance of scoring that goal there? Would you say it's a 10%?
Yeah, well, you've got an angle. You can probably see the far corner, but it literally is. Yeah, it's a small target. So you're looking at 10-15%.
It was have a crack, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Just have a crack.
Get your laces over it, and if you can hit it to the roof of the net, you're more likely to, unless the goalkeeper's standing up or coming up, then he's going to make the save. But laces through it, and he meant it. And
you could tell he meant it. You could totally tell he meant it, because it nearly burst the net off the back of the goal, didn't it?
Pleased for him, because he's had a little stick from just like kind of like those kind of final like moments about like one-on-ones finishing and actually getting the job done when he's in those positions. So he's done it, and that was really good just to see him carry on the scoring, because he has done well. He's done well.
Yeah, totally.
Bernaf Katopau, is that? Yes, apologies. From Namibia, all to my team, Arsenal. Yeah, welcome to the channel.
Welcome, Benny.
I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah. Up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.
So Colin Young, disagree. There is a wave, and the best players, unlike Mbappe, will compete for a position in a squad doing big things. Yeah, I'm not debating that. I think players wouldn't come just to play as a third striker. Yeah, they would. Obviously, if money's still being paid, they'll sit there. But I'm questioning that kind of importance of spending a big fee on a player that's just going to literally sit there and maybe only play, say, 30% of games. Because
Well, the other thing you've got to chuck into that mix there, and hello, Colin, by the way, how you doing, mate? You say if, let's say, Jesus gets injured, and you're bringing in your second-tier striker, your third-tier striker to cover, you don't want your levels to drop, do you?
No.
And that's what me and you are trying to get at. We need a player as cover that the levels that we're playing at the moment won't drop.
Yeah. Yeah, you also got to factor in the morale of the squad as well. What you don't want to do is get in a player that comes in with a reputation.
Yeah.
And if he's not getting game time, I'll picture potentially, say, Richarlison, had he joined Arsenal and he was, say, like a number 2 or a number 3 striker, we don't know. Nketiah might have come in, he might have, whatever, he might have been told and played. And then you're saying he's a bit part player, but then what kind of bad apple may he be if he's not being played in that kind of thing? And then you're kind of muddying up that kind of morale within the squad. So yeah, I think Colin's just said on there, yeah, a priority. I know there was lots of talk about Nketiah still. I'm not sure he could do it, but I think, look, he's had a chance. He's had a chance today, and he's shown willingness to do it. So there will be chances, and I'm sure he will get in the goals. But it is harder when he isn't getting that game time.
Yeah, if you're not playing the 90 minutes from the start, it's a lot harder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think a lot more is expected of you if you come off the bench? If you're Nketiah, do you think a lot more is expected of you from that?
I think he's alluded to it. I think he spoke about that in the All or Nothing, didn't he? And he said, well, yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to come on for 10, 15 minutes and try and change the game or make something happen or be the difference maker, because if you, well, put it this way, there's a lot of pressure on you making a difference to then basically justify that why you should be in the team, because you're always kind of going up against teams late on, but then the game may be done or whatever, and it's one of those where other players are taken off as well, and it's one of those awkward things. Whereas if you're starting from the start like you did last season, it's a lot different, and you get that consistency and you get that kind of way of playing, and you can actually get a bit more understanding of how the team work. But I think it is harder. Definitely think it's harder.
Do you think? I mean, I've said it, and I know a lot of people in Cannon Fodder in their comments have said it. The number 14 is just a number. But do you think giving him that number 14 has upset a lot of Arsenal fans because they don't think he's going to live up to the standards? Sorry about how loose I'm saying where I can feel it. But do you know what I mean? Do you think if he'd have had another number, he wouldn't be under as much pressure, maybe?
I suppose that you'll always get the ones that are very well. All fans are very precious over numbers, and you remember all your icons and your legends.
Your legends,
and you always look at it, but you say it's just a number. It's not. It's one of those. We have had some shocking players fill in some of our numbers.
Oh, tell us about it. Yeah.
I mean, giving William Gallas a number 10. You know what I mean? Just like bad enough. You're suddenly thinking, it is just a number. And look, he's been given a chance. Whether or not that chance is 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, if it doesn't work out for him, then we have the option to sell him and get money for him. There's value in him by signing that contract.
Yeah.
So that's the only way. Go and prove yourself, and that would have been said when he signed his contract. Not he's been given promise after promise, but go and prove yourself, and then if you do it, then well done.
Totally.
if you're not scoring goals, then we're going to have to look for a number 2 striker, which is going to come in and he will be over you and you'll find yourself back as a number 3, or we will sell you. And I think that's the harsh reality of football. And I think that's that. In the end of the day, that's it. He's been given that current carrot. Go and prove yourself. But we can now sell him rather than let him go for free. And 2 years or 3 years down the line, or whatever, it could be like that. It could be like this year, and you suddenly say, well, he hasn't scored many goals. Then it might come to next year, and if it is similar, then it might be, well, all right, okay, well, there you go. It's not happening. We are gonna look for to sell you.
Yeah.
And we might next season, if we got the Champions League, then we go out and get another big striker.
So Paul, you kind of put me on the spot before, right?
Yeah.
So transfer window opens tomorrow. Who are you going after and why? Sorry about the silence, people, but
yeah, like as I say, if it's looking at a certain position, it's going to be that CDM role.
Yeah, okay. Well, the other one I was going to chuck in the mix as well, right? I think Saka needs cover. So because I don't want the lad to burn out, and I know everybody says Emil Smith Rowe. Yes, I know, but he's injured at the moment. Do you know what I mean? I must admit, I like the look of this Mudryk. Is it Mudryk? I like the look of this Mudryk lad.
Yeah.
I think he would suit the role pretty good. Possibly Neves from Wolves for the central midfield, maybe. There you go. There's my 2 pence worth. Whoa.
Yeah. I thought about Neves again. It'll be interesting. I'll tell you what. Yeah, the rumours are with Bellingham as well. That was one.
Yeah,
he's obviously not that kind of CDM.
Everything's fell through with Luiz apparently as well, hasn't it?
He's got the contract, so it would mean that we need to spend big on him and to
get him.
We will. So there'll be another target that we will look to go on, and whether or not that is Tielemans, I don't know.
I've forgotten about Tielemans because it's because of what's happened. But I also heard a rumor that, and this is just a rumor, so I don't want to get the chat up in uproar or whatever else. But I'd heard a rumor that we're thinking about offering money and Lokonga for Locatelli. Now, whether that's true or not, I can't give you 100%, but that would be interesting.
No, there's lots out there which could fit profiles, but
we could sit here for hours talking about it, couldn't we?
Mate, we've all sat on Football Manager and we've all tried to build our own football teams.
Tell me about it.
You look at it like that and you just think, we spent countless hours to trying to do that, and we're finding out those wonder kids and everything like that. But you look at it and you just think there are players out there, and look, if we're in this position come January window when it opens, they'll be queuing up to kind of come to us. I would say.
I hope so. I truly hope so, because we need the talent, and we need, as I've said before, and you've said, we need to strengthen. Yeah.
No, so I think if we look at it, and I think if we do steer clear of injuries, then I don't think it is too bad this year. I think.
So, just quickly, Paul, talking of injuries, how tough is Jesus? He's had his ankles nipped. So I don't know how many times. He still gets up and plays. He was knocked out last week. Cold. He was out cold and still got up and played. How tough is that lad, mate? Unbelievable.
He's got a good work ethic. I think you can see just the way his personality is. And again, this is that winner's kind of mentality. I'd say you get down, or you go down, and you want to carry on. You want to have that fight to kind of carry on and just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I don't like the players that just they'll roll over, they'll fall over, and then they'll just kind of like go down after they've been whacked a couple of times. We've had a few of those players that get a couple of kicks and they just kind of go a little bit wanting. Look at Nasri. I think Nasri was one, weren't he, like that, where he had a little kind of like he had a couple of nibbles and whatever like that. Then it it kind of fades out, and there were quite a few like that.
Yeah.
But no, again, I think that's mentality, that's DNA for him, and I think it's a quality. Just it's never say never, isn't it?
Yeah. Totally.
Colin says, "Des, are you saying we're only 10 games in?" That was a little bit earlier, so that was all right.
Yeah, but it's 10 games, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only 10 games. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, thanks. But Colin, man, don't confuse an old fella like me. It does me nothing.
Yeah. But we are only 10 games in, and look, I'll tell you what, it'd be nice. It'll be nice if we look at it and say, yeah, well, we played 14 and we've got 13 wins in a couple of weeks.
How long is it before they break off for the World Cup?
I think it's about the 14th or 15th of November, I think, or something. I think.
Right, so it's another about a month, yeah. Yeah. So, here's a prediction from the enforcer, right? So I'm enforcing this, everybody. Okay, if we're top of the league come the World Cup, I think we'll win it. There you go. Go on, comments, go mental. I really don't mind, but I genuinely think if we are top of the league, right, when it comes to the World Cup, I think we'll win it. I really do, because the break will help us. And I tell you what, if our Brazilian lads aren't even picked for the Brazilian team, it'll be even better. But there you go. I'm putting my neck on the block. If we've still got a lead, come the World Cup, Arsenal will win the league.
Yeah, well, let's say, look, we're gonna put ourselves in a massively good position if we stay there. And look, we may increase the gap. You never know. I don't know what we've got now for the next 4 games, but there's always potential. But there's also potential for us to kind of
of course,
but we potentially could have done today. So that's why I'm not too worried about what they're doing. Had it been like in March or April and that game's going on, I'd be like, and we were kind of in this thing, I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to watch this, and I want, this is really like important. But I look at it like that and I say, well, yeah, look, Liverpool have gained some points on them, and all right, we're 4 points, but that could easily turn around.
Yeah. Well, it did last season, didn't it? When we were trying to get 4th place, you know.
We know all about that, don't we?
Yeah, we do, mate. We do. But what I will say is, Emirates. What I've liked about this season is Emirates is starting to become a bit of a fortress.
Yeah, that's the difference, and we'll win those games. But again, let's say this is the key: is those away games now, and making sure we have those performances to match like we're doing. Because there were too many times when we were there last season and we were found wanting going away from home. That's why we only won 9 games and lost 9.
We didn't travel well last season at all, did we?
No. So obviously there's massive improvements needed, and that I think that is that's where we need to show that improvement. And if we can get out of this year with under half of those amount of losses away from home, we'll be in good standing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree. I've
got no problem with playing at home against anyone. I think we can beat anyone at home. Certainly when you bring that atmosphere. So yeah, if everyone keeps their cool and they don't do things stupid. Again, Gabriel today potentially could have put us in a bit of a sticky wicket. I think that's the word or the terminology on that side. And it was got overruled, but it could easily have been.
Do you think other teams think he's a weak link at the moment, Paul?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they can. I think they know that they can kind of maybe get into his head, or they can maybe do something like Bamford done. He's got in and barged him or something like that, or maybe give a little kind of slide, little dig, and then he'll react. But it's one of those you just think, he is. It's year upon year that he's seeming to be.
I mean, I love Gabriel, right? As I do love him, and I think, he's got a mistake in him, and the Arsenal team has a mistake in them. You know what I mean? But to me, he always looks upset and angry, doesn't he? Even when he's happy, he looks upset and angry. See the face? Did you see his face today when Bamford shoulder barged him? I mean, it was like, Yeah.
He's in that zone. I think he's got a proper big kind of like focus, like mind. He's like when he goes to games, he's really focused, and
Yeah.
you can see it in there, the concentration there. But there's a time in that game where that kind of concentration turns into like a red zone, and it just kind of like he almost gets the old incredible Hulk eyes, and just suddenly, just has that kind of like moment, and he'll have that 1 minute kind of like thing, and he'll go and do something crazy or silly, whether or not it's a bad pass or or you know what I mean, or he'll do so, pull someone back, or just little things like that.
Credit to him, because I bet you want to go back to the chat in a second, but I just want to say one more thing about Gabriel before you do, right?
Yeah.
If he makes a mistake, he's always trying to rectify that mistake. Do you know what I mean? And we haven't had players like that before. We've had players that, I've made a mistake, head automatically goes down, and that's it. They're done for the rest of the game usually, Well, this lad is like, hold on, I've made a mistake. I've got to do something to rectify this mistake. And again, that's that mentality that we've got now. It's all about mentality, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I look at it also from the wider area as well. I think it's more to do with how the team deal with that as well.
It's not just him. It's a team. It is a team thing. I get what you're saying.
Moment, they're not kind of like being negative. They're like, come on up. You get this. Let's go again. And it shows from what's happened when we have got into bad moments, and we've come back.
Dust yourself off, son, and let's crack on. Do you know what I mean?
Like you look at it and you think, well, last season, you suddenly thinking, where were those characters then? And you suddenly thinking, like, someone makes a mistake, you've got to say, certainly early season, or like Aubameyang or like Lacazette, were they really kind of positive?
Yeah, exactly.
There was lots to talk about him being really good with the youth players and everything like that, but you're suddenly thinking, I think there were times where it was a bit heated with him and the others, and you just think, well, that's maybe that mentality change as well, which has helped it. Go on a bit more. So, I think it's just a whole kind of squad change. I think that.
Yeah.
So, Colin, again, last season, at the end of the season, under pressure, we saw today, on a bad performance day, we would have folded like a Kamart lawn chair. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's right. He is right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we would have got that red card. That red card wouldn't have been changed. It would have been just our luck. We'd have had 10 men. We'd have conceded 2 penalties. And it'd have been horrendous. We'd all be like trying to get in a bunker somewhere or something like just wanted to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So Carl, it isn't just a conversation. You sent that a while ago, but you're involved now.
Yeah, welcome, Carl. I'd like to say two intelligent fellas, if that's all right. Two intelligent fellas. I'm so glad my missus isn't sat in the room. She'd be laughing her head off.
So Tim Iduka has said, "Woohoo! It's a huge win to our team. Big up all the Arsenal fans.
Big up to you, mate. Big up to
you." Richard goes, but this season we didn't fold, Carl, so that's an improvement. We still have 28 games to go, so let's see where we are come March. Yeah, well, there's a lot of football to be played, isn't there? A lot of teams to beat.
Yeah, it's
that's the way of looking at it, isn't it? You know what
I mean? We're a quarter way through now, aren't we? Is that right?
Well, just over.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, this is just a drop in the ocean at the moment.
But we'll take it, won't we? We'll take it.
We will, mate. We will, because that's the kind of fan base we are. We'll take it.
Top of the perch, and
that's it, mate. Yeah.
And that's why everyone hates. No one likes a smug gooner, do they?
I don't think I've ever met a smug gooner.
Oh, I know a few.
Oh, I obviously travel in different circles, mate. I know a lot of scared gooners. I don't think I've met a smug one.
No. There's a lot more now. I think it is. I think it's just all the confidence now. It's just coming nice. It's just nice just to be back.
Yeah. So it's nice to be one. It's nice to be one of the superpowers again for a change.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet.
No.
We're almost like Spider-Man, but without his web kind of shooting out feature. So yeah, we're getting there. We're almost there. We're not quite.
We're getting there though. We're getting there. Totally.
We're on the way. So Ramsdale stood on his head today. Whose head was that, Colin?
He stood on his head like he was like doing a headstand. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He put the entire team on his shoulders. Look at that.
Yeah, all right, I'm with you now. Sorry, Colin. It's been a long day.
Paul, tip, mate. Read the whole thing.
Well, fine, yeah. I was reading backwards. Look, he played really well.
He did. He's my man of the match. He's my man of the match.
Even with that penalty though, and it went wide, and he suddenly thought, I think if it was on target, I think he's got to it.
I think he was. I think he'd have got. I'd be honest with you, Paul. I think he would have got to it all day long, mate.
Yeah. So So that was just nice. I think just the way he was. I think it was just all good. It was out very sharp, and he's had a bit of pelters, hasn't he, recently about decisions 1-on-1. I would say full pelters, but I mean, just Leno would have saved that. Also, there were a couple of little things like that. It was like, look, he's come in, he's played a blinder, and he's saved one below the belt, which must have hurt, and he still got back up to make a second save to go and do it, which, as we know, it isn't the most comfortable kind of place to be hit with the ball.
No, not at all.
So,
ex-goalkeeper, mate. I mean,
I'll give him man of the match just for that. To be fair,
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. If Rambo's got one slight fault, sometimes he gets a little bit overexcited,
caught up in the moment. He likes to play quarter. And
that's a good way. That's a good way of putting it.
Because you want to get that camaraderie with the Arsenal fans. Look, the last one that really done that was Seaman.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Seaman would be that one. We would have all that camaraderie of having that little bit of laugh with that goalkeeper. But he's tried his hardest, and obviously whether or not that was all to do with the negative stuff before he joined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had all the fans, the abuse going to him. It was just like, it's just unbelievable. And he's shut them up quite.
Totally, mate, totally. And I'm amazed, going on your point for a second, I'm amazed. How did he get relegated twice if he plays like this for us?
Well, you can't win a match on your own, can you?
You can't, that's the truth.
On those two relegations, he got Young Player of the Year on those as well.
Exactly. It shows how bad back four were in them teams then, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, you can only do so much. In becomes the wife, and out she
goes.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to the chat room. So I will now give Arteta the nod on culture change. This is a big thing, Colin.
Yeah. Colin's swallowing his pride here, isn't he?
That was a good, very determined result on a day nothing was good. Yeah, look, we know we'd love to talk about a polished performance, but look, we dug in and every player showed commitment and desire to carry on.
No, go on. Sorry, Paul. Go on.
Yeah, no, it was it. It was all round. We knew that it was going to be tougher in the second half. How tough? I don't think we really knew, but it's very hard to change the tide. Once that changes and the whole way of the game, by making substitutions, Arteta tried to change it, but it was just relentless, wasn't it? And
I'll say this. This is the enforcer's moment of the week. All right. Let's call it passionate moment of the week. And I'm one of them. I'll put my hand up. Arteta has made a lot of Arsenal fans eat humble pie this season, and it's well deserved. Well deserved for what he's done. I was more, with my opinion on Arteta, was more credit where credit's due and then criticise if he does something wrong. Yeah? But fair play to the man. He's made a lot of Arsenal fans, whether they want to admit it or not, eat humble pie. And I will admit it, he's made me eat humble pie this season, and I'm happier for it. I had custard with my humble pie. It was lovely.
Was it?
It was, mate.
Next time.
But it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, my thoughts were like, we gave Wenger 20 odd years, over 22 years, wasn't it? That time, and then we rip up what he created and what he got us playing like, and the whole kind of philosophy across the whole age groups, and we then replace him with a totally different manager in Emery, and you're suddenly thinking it was not a fit. It's just like Tottenham going to Mourinho. Totally like un-Tottenham like appointment. Yeah, he's won trophies. Apart from Tottenham. So you can't take Tottenham out.
I mean,
you look at it and you think we needed that appointment, and this is what I said. You couldn't then react after a season and just then say get rid of him, because we're going to end up keep going in this vicious circle.
Well, you can chuck the Ferguson debate into this, couldn't you? Because Ferguson didn't work out straight away with Man United, and look how far he went. So maybe Arteta will do the same, you know?
Yeah, so it does take time. It does take time to get it all going. Richard said, Southampton away, Forest home, then Chelsea, and then Wolves away before the World Cup. But then we also sandwich in our PSV games, obviously on Thursday, 6:00.
Yeah.
And then Zurich, and then Brighton. So a lot of football to be played, but look, as I say, I'd rather take those and then have one big game against Chelsea, because that's one game that you'll be earmarking to say, we need to get conditioning top for that game. And you look at it, Zinchenko will be back for a good part of those games, I'm pretty certain. So I don't think it's going to be long.
Do you actually know what's wrong with Zinchenko? Because I don't know what's wrong with him.
It's muscular. I think it's calf.
Is it that reoccurring calf pain? Is it?
I think he come off with a calf injury against Tottenham. So
all right, okay.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. So I'm sure he's going to be back. I don't think it's going to be long term.
I hope not. He's a good player.
That's it. It's just something else to kind of help steady the tide as well. Take control of the ball. Not the whole nod, but a good partial nod. The tie. John the Gooner. What's this?
What are you on about, geezer? What are you on about? Elaborate.
I know we're a little bit behind schedule, but look. But our team, even these two games, they've not played well. Yeah, it's a sign of a better team, isn't it? And a bigger team winning when you don't play well. And
exactly. That's the point. I mean, that's what this Arsenal team's doing now. If we don't play well, but we're still winning, so you take it all day long, won't you?
All day long. John the Gooner, the title challenge is now on. Sing it loud, sing it proud.
Come on, the geezer. Get it in there, son. Hey.
Not when you have Cavanagh in charge, lol. Oh. Yeah, no. It was a bit questionable performance, not all the time, but I think it was just some.
Do you know what, mate? I'll be honest, but when it does seem a lot of the time the English refs don't know what they're up to, right, or what they're doing. I wouldn't be against getting European referees in. They control the game better. They let the game flow better.
There's been all previous, isn't it? That's been spoke about doing. Where Colina, I think, was in charge of it, weren't they? They were looking at that point when he was kind of refereeing. It was
but either get our referees trained up properly and give us proper service.
I think the only way they can really get around this, and I know they talk about all other VAR works in all other countries apart, and it seems to be the worst adoption of VAR is in the Premier League. Because you've got the whole kind of issue with the Premier League, the Premier Refs Association, and who run it, and you suddenly think, well, all those kind of laws that they've changed to suit VAR is just pony. It's just rubbish. It's just that there's things that they've changed that they didn't need to change, and if we can get some universal law for VAR, and that doesn't go between region and different countries, everyone will be so much more clearer. And No, I think that's it. I think there's so many different kind of like versions of it. It just makes it so cloudy, and no one really knows. So it's the blind leading the blind.
Do you think we need more camera angles and actually in the actual VAR office?
No, no. I just think it clouds it even more. It makes another camera
Does it?
angle. It will make another camera angle for someone to be objective about something else, freeze framed or slow motion, to then give a decision that wasn't given on the pitch. And that's
what gets me about that, Paul, right? In rugby league, right? It just flows. They know what they're doing. They get on with it, right? That's a try, whatever. On with the game. Football, the Premier League, you know what I mean? Is it because we've got referees doing the? Do you think we just need an impartial body to do the VAR?
When you've got incompetent, well, incompetent's probably a strong word for them because they are.
But use it, Paul. Use it. It
is. Yeah, no nonsense. It is. They are incompetent in a large scale. So when you've got someone that is directing someone else who is incompetent on the pitch, you've got an incompetent referee seeking assurance from another incompetent referee.
Like you said, the blind leading the blind, isn't it?
We've got camera angles and slow motion replays to basically then guide the referee to make the decision that he didn't make on the field.
Right. Okay.
And you suddenly think and like last year was a good one, wasn't it? It was like the well, no, it's interesting when they go to the screen. They're only showed one camera angle.
Yeah.
Slowed down, and so any contact that they'll see slowed down will look worse than what it is. And it was the same with against Chelsea and the City game when we had the penalty.
Yeah.
Odegaard, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was Odegaard, yeah. And then Edison come through, and he obviously foot come through the ball and through his foot like that. And then they showed him one camera angle. They didn't show the camera angle that would have showed that he's gone through his foot. So that's where it's very cloudy. And if the referee on the pitch had all the angles, he can make a more better opinion or a decision on that. So rather than passing the buck back to the referee by watching the TV, you know what I mean? It's incompetent goes to incompetent up here. Then the incompetent one says, "Go and have a look. I'm incompetent," and then the incompetent decision is given. There's no.
Okay, I get you.
Incompetence everywhere.
So to save time, Paul, how about this? To save time, let the fourth referee see the screen.
Yeah. Why not?
Because he's nearer to the blooming thing, right? And he's a referee himself.
Yeah.
He could put it through the referee on the pitch and say, right, penalty, no penalty, whatever the case may be. You know.
Well, anything's got to be better than what it is at the minute. That's all I say. I just think it's a bit. You're trying to make so many kind of decisions, and I think VAR's suddenly taken a big kind of step now, and there's been some big decisions that have been ruled by VAR.
Yeah.
You look at even City's goal today, and it was a foul. It was a pullback at the start, but. Yeah, I thought they'd given it for the tackle on the goalkeeper where he's with Haaland's gone in for the ball. But it was just before that. But it was. I don't know. I don't want to talk
Again, it's another thing you could talk about all day long, isn't it?
Mate, it's a totally different show.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
God dear, no, but. I'm really, really happy that they can come back now and just focus on Thursday. And if they win tomorrow, Thursday, then that group's done, dusted.
We don't get the dodgy teams that are falling out the Champions League, do we?
No, not the playoff. So you miss out on the playoff, and then just go in as group winners. So yeah. So,
Richard, and the Spuds could fall into it. You know, they're only 1 point ahead in their table.
Well, we're wanting the Arsenal crew to go and score a couple of goals.
Yeah.
They've got that. They're going away, aren't they, or are they at home against? They must be away to Marseille.
Yeah, I think so.
That'll be an interesting game. Certainly, if
Yeah,
they're not at their game, hopefully they'll give Kane a kick up the backside.
he blooming needs one.
Yeah. So So Richard said, he wants Tierney to invert more like Zinchenko does, like we kind of said, and that gives that extra midfield player when we do go forward. I think it's just being more solid across the board, whoever plays, whatever side.
More chance of the overlap as well.
The more underlapping and getting through. So once they've got the ball in, they can obviously
Yeah,
pass the ball out.
I suppose. But I'm so used to Tierney doing an overlap,
Well, that's where that kind of difference is for him, because obviously
Yeah.
his forte is going out there. So to try and learn a different characteristic or way of playing is a little bit alien to him. So that's potentially why maybe he's not, say, seeing that game time at this time, because he's not dealing with that part of the game.
Plus, he's got that knee thing at the moment that could go at any moment, couldn't it?
You've got to protect the players and give them game time. They've had long injuries, just like the others that have come back. So
you've got to give Tierney credit though. He's a total team player, isn't he?
He's another one that you'd want to put in your army, wouldn't
he? Totally.
He'll always give 100%, and he'll always carry on. So really good. Yeah, Colin said, striker isn't the big purchase in my opinion. We still need 2 strong midfielders to complete the team. Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm. We don't disagree with that. We don't disagree with that, Colin. But I think if you've got the money, go and get a striker as well.
Yeah, I think that's next season.
Do you think so? I think you wouldn't do it in January. You wouldn't do it in January, Paul?
Again, were we wrong to have got or not got a striker in last January? Yeah, hindsight, when we look back at it and we say, all right, we were probably caught short, but we weren't expecting Aubameyang and Lacazette to blow up the way they did.
That's very true. Very true.
So you look at it like that, and you suddenly think, we gave Nketiah the run of games, and then he started scoring, and you suddenly thinking, had he come in a couple of games before that, we'd be in Champions League.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
2 points.
But you do make a fair point. You do make a very fair point.
I'll look at it like that. I think, if we get everyone back and we have El Neni, I'm sure El Neni come back is still going to give us an option. Yeah, people say, he's not the Rolls Royce we need, but he is still a player that comes in and he gives decent performances.
He doesn't moan. He just gets on. He gets on with it quietly, doesn't he?
Never let you down, and it'll be there. So he's another option to play in that kind of a Europa or like the cup competitions or whatever, just to switch it around. And then you're talking about Zinchenko coming back as well. Look, there's players around, and if we do have to kind of dip into maybe say the youth squads just to get a couple of players in, just to add to a couple of numbers or give a bit of game time, then so be it.
Yeah.
If we're doing what we're doing at the minute, it's going to be tougher going in after the World Cup because there's some big games. But are we really, really that short with numbers? I would debate. I'd love to have the conversation at the end of the season. Certainly.
Well, I'm up for that conversation at the end of the season if you want, mate.
We'll have that on the review, and it's like, you just look at it and you think, look, we've made big strides this season to get where we are, and we've got rid of the players. We've made it go as small as it could go to then bring in the players, and we have done that. And then now, don't get me wrong, if there is a player on the market that is available in January, that is on our radar and available, and if another team potentially is going in for him, we might need him, then we've obviously got to test the water and see if we can actually get him. But if we're in a bidding war and silly money, I'm talking Chelsea or whatever, then
and let's be honest, Arteta and Edu don't like spending silly money, do
they? No. Every player's got a value, and it's one of those where you look at it and you just think it's I don't know. It's you have value, and this is why I said you didn't want to kind of be drawn into that Vlahovic one, because the money was going up and up and up, and it just seemed more and more that was going on about it was more and more dodgier.
I'll tell you what would be interesting, and I'll just say this just quickly because I know we're probably running out of time. But if we were to go up against the old lady Juventus in the league, yeah, and we beat them, and we could turn around to Vlahovic and say, "Look at what you could have had."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a bit pie in the sky, but you know what I mean.
He turned us down to go to the Champions League, and then they're going out the Champions League, and we're going the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, it's just trying to go through here.
Do you know what though? Chat's on the ball tonight. They're making some great comments, aren't they?
Yeah, some good stuff. Yeah,
and they're backing us up in what we've said as well, which is nice. Yeah. You know, so thanks for that, guys. It's appreciated.
Hey, we have to have interaction because you make it. I'm tell you what, I might just let the chat have the floor one of the shows.
That's cool.
I know. We have to go, and we'll be guided by you. We'll be led down a dodgy path, I'm sure, by some.
Yeah, you could be asking for trouble there, Paul, but it would be interesting.
It'll be interesting. We'll keep it like regimented, and but yeah, we'll try and get more interaction. And I want to get a couple of you guys on. Colin, come and have your say. Come and get involved because it would be good. Kind of get someone else.
Colin, my brother from another mother. I'll do a show with you anytime, mate. If you want to come on.
So honestly. Yeah, Richard says, do you think the fact Riley never wanted VAR that influences the way PGMOL uses the system they didn't want, just to make it look like it doesn't work?
Do you think that's what the trial one was? The trial one was just to prove it doesn't work and we don't want it. I think War Games has got a fair point here. Do you think it was like, oh, we'll run it, but it won't work and everybody will boo it off the pitch and we'll scrap it?
Yeah, I find it. I don't know. I don't like seeing failed referees in charge of something that he's in a massively big kind of position, making decisions when he wasn't one of the best in his profession, or when he was doing it. And I think that resonates from that kind of fact where I just don't think that the right decisions are being made. It was brought in for clear and obvious errors where we're changing an offside rule, we're changing a handball rule every other week to suit VAR when we don't need to. And again, you've gone through the whole kind of linesman raising the flags, not raising the flags, all sorts of like weird kind of decision making from the rules that you don't need to change. Clear and obvious. Has the referee on the pitch made an error? Is it offside? You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I totally agree with what War Games is saying. Is it Richard, War Games? Richard.
Yeah, that's it, Richard.
I totally agree with what Richard's saying. I think he makes a fair point. And can I just say, I've noticed one of the comments as it's scrolling down, Franco has asked a great question, Paul. Can you see it? Franco. It's in orange.
Oh, no.
Franco's asking a great question. I think we should spend a moment on this, if you can find it.
Hold on, let me get my binoculars out.
I can tell it's a very simple question. I could tell you what it is.
I haven't got it, unless I'm blind. Go on.
How did Xhaka play? Should we have a moment on that?
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Should we have a moment on that, Paul? Because we both rate Xhaka this season, don't we?
Yeah.
How did Xhaka play? For me, since putting him in the number 8, it is the number 8, isn't it?
Yep.
Position. Thank you. Because I'm not, as you might have gathered, I'm a grassroots. I don't install this kind of stuff. I just love me football and I love talking about it. But for me, since giving Xhaka this number 8 position, he's a total different player. And he's playing for the team. He's not just playing for himself. And I think at the moment, I can't fault him. That's just my personal opinion. I cannot fault him. Where in the past, I know it was easy to, that was Xhaka's fault. This is Xhaka's fault. But this season, I cannot fault him. And that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think it was one of those where you thought, yeah, the first half. I think everyone still played like decent. I have read some comments like in the first half about being leggy, being tired. I didn't really. I thought we had control. I thought we were just playing. I thought we were just kind of being patient in the way we were playing, and all the talk on the commentary was that we are be happy with the way they're playing, both teams, because it was kind of a bit end to end, and but we had more control. But then that second half, again, it was just no one really stepped out. You look at like some of the most impressive ones, Saliba, and you're suddenly thinking,
Yeah,
first time in his Arsenal career has he looked really flustered and making incorrect judgments and just he'd have the time where he'd come out and do a little pirouette on the ball and come out with the ball, but sometimes a little passes here and there just going all over the shop and
going straight passes. Yeah.
it was everyone. Like so to label a player as is it a worse game or ineffective. It was across the whole team. It was probably everyone's worst game, in all honesty, in that second half.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I can't add or subtract anything away from that. I think you've hit the nail on the head. But this would be a very interesting question to ask Alex, because how he feels about the X-Man. So yeah, but yes, again, you're right. I mean, it was a game of two halves, wasn't it? As Jimmy Greaves would say, the late great Jimmy Greaves. It was definitely a game of two halves.
Yeah, we had control. We knew that they would have had more of a kick up the backside because I think they weren't at us as a unit. And I think that allowed us to be able to play and pass the ball around them. And we had, what was it, 66% possession in the first half.
It was, 65% possession.
It showed that they weren't really at it pressing wise, and obviously got around them, and we know that they are relentless in how they go about what they do pressing wise.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I think it showed Leeds in a good light. The only thing that was missing is they didn't score.
Yeah, there were plenty of chances, but like as I say, it was just one of those. Look, you ride your luck. You ride your luck. You take your luck.
You take your chances. You roll up, don't you? Take your chances.
Has left us for so long, and just nice just to get a couple of like moments like that where we've rode it. So more of the same, please.
Yes, please keep it coming. But if you could score a few more goals and make it so we can breathe every now and again, that would be that would be so much easier. But I'll take it all day long, guys. So up the Arsenal, come on, you Gunners.
Anything else?
I had to check my pulse a couple of times, Paul. Did you?
I mean, I said I was sitting there. I had some family over, and I was watching it. And I'm literally, potentially like pulling out the sofa, and I'm going to hide behind it, and I'm just like, I was like, oh Jesus, I'm just go and get a beer from the fridge, and that was that, and it was just same old Arsenal. It was just like that kind of that feeling. It was just.
Well, you could say we had the builders in, couldn't you? Because we got that 1-0 and then there's a brick wall in our goal and you can't score. It's like back in the 80s, wasn't it?
Ramsdale was that wall. And I think just overall, I think we rode it. But if we didn't have the belief, we wouldn't have got through that game.
Yeah, totally.
And that's it. And they all stuck together. They all worked. And as ugly and as horrible as that second half was, we done it. But as I say, you couldn't single out anyone to say they were bad or not. All I say is that I think probably the one was Vieira that involved when he come on. Again, I don't think it was. I think the game bypassed the midfield quite a lot because Leeds were kind of knocking the balls long and it was going straight to defence and they were relying on knockdowns to kind of get the ball in and around those areas. So it was so bitty and I mean, there was we got the ball, we try and play a pass in and then we go and lose it again. So it was one of those, you just couldn't see any play. And I thought Nketiah was the only one that came in and
It lifted the game a bit.
Almost had we had a chance on goal and flicked it. It was a nice little flick, and just the other side of the near post. So yeah, so, nice. I don't know.
Again, though, the only thing that does annoy me, and I've been talking positive all evening, but this one thing does annoy me, and one of my favourite players is guilty of it. We keep trying to walk the ball in. There are so many times when we could shoot sooner, and we just don't do it.
Yeah. I think a couple of times we've been all right with that, and we've been a bit more focused on being a bit more direct. But then it does revert sometimes to type where we do get the ball in the box, and maybe you're faced with a defender right in front, and rather than just kind of maybe just trying to get a little yard to knock the ball away, so he's got a strike and goal, we tend to maybe still dally on it, maybe want to hold the ball. I don't know. Keep possession of it, and then maybe be a bit more in control and try and play a pass. But that second or third pass normally involves it's being blocked out or it's been cleared out. So it's a work in progress. We know
it is. No, I would agree, but it is a bit annoying at times, because you're getting there, you're like, oh, go. Oh, it's been blocked.
I think he'd have learned a lot from this performance. I think Arteta and then obviously the players as well playing. There's obviously think of the young players. I think they will have learned a fair bit about the game, how they're playing, and then when it isn't going right. And
Vieira and Partey have proved we can do it this season, haven't they?
I just think it's just that mentality when things are not going right, when things are going really bad, and you're literally backs to the wall, and we're totally under the cosh. I know we've been under the cosh before. It's obviously City. Every time we go to City, I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. You're like straight away, hands in head, and you're like literally just like, please keep it under 3, for 4. 5. Straight away, you're like, oh, you're under pressure all the time. But then this is just like, But they'll take it.
Man City have proved today that they're human as well. So
But they've also Liverpool shown a way to kind of keep them a little bit quiet. I don't know how many times they had, but I'm not sure.
Quietly go about your business, innit? And that's what I think Arsenal have actually done this season. They've just quietly gone about their business.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's how it should be.
Well, let's get the job done. You don't care. Let everyone talk about us saying we haven't played anyone and everything like that. Just keep tipping up those 3 points. And see where they come. But we're top of the league, we're top of the perch, and we're happy about it. So, we're going to take that, aren't we?
Yeah, all day long, mate. All day long.
Colin, not fully bought in. John, in-game decisions, man management, and substitutions need to start improving. Have him a big thumbs up with Tommy to deal with Salah, but today not starting Tierney made me question. Is that a question?
Or confused, I think. Something like that.
I'm confused there. I'm confused. Again, I think he maybe gave Tomiyasu that little slot after what he'd done at Liverpool.
Yeah, he probably thought he'd earned it, Paul. You know what I mean? And said, do you know what, kid? Go out there and let's see what you do. And, I know how you're feeling, Colin. But to be honest, in the last couple of games, Tommy's earned the right, I think. And Tierney they're still saying that Tierney isn't quite 100%, is he?
Well, I think we've got to focus on him and making sure I think it's more the fitness as well, because his game is involved in a lot of running, a lot of effort, and going through that way. So to be out for that long, how he was, it is gonna be a struggle. Maybe it takes a year for him to get back to that proper level,
to the standard.
So, but he changed it, didn't he? And obviously White come off.
Yeah.
But White again was another one where it was being kind of caught inside, maybe in that inverted role, and he was being dragged around a bit. But they were very clever in how they were building up, because every single time they'd have that overlap and they'd have almost like a 3-on-2.
Thing is, though, Paul, you only need one good ball in and someone on the end of it, don't you?
Yeah. So so he changed it up and then put Tomiyasu on the right, as he has been, and to try and give a bit of cover. But as I say, that's what they were working on, and it was all the time they were finding a bit of joy. So lots to work with. And look, if Arteta come out of a game and suddenly said, "Oh, I've got all positives," and everything like that, then there'd be no point just like going into coaching. You'd be, you know what I mean? There's obviously got to be things you got to work on and what you can see and say, well, this wasn't good, this wasn't good. But look, you come back in and are Arsenal going to turn up to Southampton in that same frame or finishing this game in the same way? I don't think so.
I hope we don't. I must admit, right, because Southampton are a bit hot and cold, hit and miss. Yeah. I hope we don't turn up at Southampton and just sort of like, it's Southampton, 3 points nailed on. Do you know what I mean?
No, we can't. We can never do that.
We need to play every game like it's like our last game. Do you know what I mean? And it's like we need the 3 points. I hope that's how we turn up there. You know.
Yeah, St Mary's is not a good ground for us recently.
No, mate, I've been down there a few times myself. I know St Mary's
go all the way back to Chesney smoking in the changing rooms. To go all that way.
Yeah.
But that's it, and you see all those games, and you're suddenly seeing like the game last year, and they were in dire straits. We were much better, but we still then lost 1-0.
Yeah.
And you look at it, and it was just like, all these little games, and it's if they step up with the same mentality they've had this year, we will get the job done.
Yeah, totally. And it proves the Premier League has proved this season and most of last season you cannot take anybody for granted.
Not at all. No.
You can't.
No. Certainly, these away games, you got to be right on these all the time.
Yeah.
So I've heard Arsenal ladies are winning, which is
good. Come on, the girls.
Yeah, so happy days.
I tried to get one of those pint glasses from the new advertisement. Yeah, the Hells.
Camden Brewery, yeah.
Yeah, they're sold out.
Sold out, yeah, they're always sold out, yeah.
They're only £8 a piece as well. They're worth it, I reckon.
Yeah, they're nice glasses. They are nice.
Yeah, but always sold out. Bummer.
The beer's lovely as well. Boy, I would get some grief right now if I came on. I think the last not fully supporting Arteta in can fodder. Hey, look.
No, you wouldn't, Colin. No, you wouldn't. Because all you're doing, it's a platform, mate.
Yeah, Colin, drop us a DM on Twitter and come and get involved. Like, it's all opinions, and that's
genuine, mate.
Great thing about it. Hey, we can have a discussion, and you may disagree with something I say. I might disagree with something you say, but this is part of being on.
Keeps the conversation flowing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all good. So it's open invitation to anyone. If anyone wants to kind of come on, as long as we're keeping it clean.
And, obviously. Good. Rules.
And,
don't break the rules, people.
Yeah, we're here to talk football. We're here to talk about Arsenal, not refs, but Arsenal. So, drop us a message.
So, Colin, come on, share your passion with it, because that's what it is. It's mine tonight. It is mine and Paul's passion coming out and how we feel about things. Come on and share it, all of you. I tell you what, the first time I ever did this, I was as nervous as hell. Sorry, Paul, for this, but I just want to get this out there to the chat. I was as nervous as hell. But then I was on here with good people, and do you know what? Every time I come on, I love it because I'm talking about something that I'm passionate and I love, and you can't go wrong. And yeah, we might disagree, but if we all agreed on the same thing, it'd be boring. So come on. I mean, John the Geezer's on there. You've got Richard in War Games. He comes on. You've got Ange, the First Lady. Look how we come on and we contribute, because we want to make this family, because it is a family. Cannon Fodder is a family. We want to make this family grow, but we want to add people to us, because more opinions makes more conversation.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as I say, this coming on to Cannon Fodder as well was really, really good for me. It's it's not about being afraid or nervous. As I say again,
Let me just one more thing, Paul. Sorry.
Right, go on.
One thing I will say about coming on Cannon Fodder as well, and I mean this to everybody from the bottom of the Enforcers heart, right? It's good for your mental health. Genuinely good for your mental health, because I've had issues in the past, and coming on Cannon Fodder, and I know on a few other people's as well, but coming on Cannon Fodder, I'm also on Gooner Matters with Glenwyn. Absolutely brilliant for your mental health and getting to talk to people. And I talk to Paul, obviously, when I'm not doing this sort of stuff on Twitter and sometimes Messenger or whatever, and we talk about, I know that if I wanted to, I could talk to Paul about anything. It doesn't have to just be football, but it's majority football. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm making friendships here, and that's what matters as well. Thanks for letting me say that, Paul. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good. That's all good. But yeah, as I say, I also run in the North Bank, and that's another channel. So please give us a little follow on there and help support my channel. I'm going to be trying to get more involved in getting content out on there now. But yeah, time is precious, as Alex finds out with all what he does. So I'm really pleased to be doing this show, and I hope all you guys and girls like the show and the content. So yeah,
I certainly do, Paul, if that's any consolation. And thank you very much. Thanks for having me on, mate, because it's a pleasure, honestly.
Yeah, so yeah, now feel free just to give us a follow, and just subscribe, and help us out. But yeah, come and get involved whenever we're live, and keep the communication going. How Colin, it's a question for you, Des. So how do I DM on Twitter?
Well, first of all, Colin, you install Twitter, right? I don't know if you've got it in your neck of the woods. I mean, do you still live in trees? I can't remember. But download Twitter, mate. And then what you look for, is it In the North Bank is yours, Paul, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then you put in a search In the North Bank, and it will come up with Paul's lovely picture. I say that loosely, ladies and gentlemen, but lovely picture, right? And a bit of information about him, and all you do is follow, yeah? And then you can send him a private message, and he'll send you one back because he's quite nice like that.
There's my handle there.
That's how it works, Colin. That's how it works, mate.
Yeah, so but he's good, and he's important about the mental health side. I'm glad you actually mentioned about it, because I think we all know someone that's suffered.
Mate, it's rife. Since I mean, I've had it. I'll be open about it. I don't mind being open about it. And I'm sorry to take up a bit of your time here, Paul, but it's even worse since COVID. Yeah. And I think a lot of people out there, if they're willing to admit to themselves, and I'm not just talking about the people in the chat here, I just mean general, things like this help you big time. And so I can only thank you for that, Paul, and I can only thank Alex and everybody involved with Cannon Fodder TV, because it's a release. That's the biggest part of it. It's a release, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sorry, Colin's made me chuckle. I have Snapple Chat, Twitter, and even Tickle Talk. So,
I knew you was playing, Colin. I knew you was playing.
I think he'll be there. I think we've got him.
I think we've hooked him. I think we've hooked a big one, Paul. I
think he's coming on next week after Southampton. So yeah, 6:30 next week. We'll be back online. So yeah, hopefully discussing another 3 points.
And we can listen to what Colin's got to say and communicate appropriately.
Colin says sense of humour might be a handful though. So yeah. No, we're all right. We'll maybe have to get a theme going. Maybe we'll have to. Yeah, maybe just have to. You've got to have a nice drink. Have a nice glass.
I mean, look at John the Gooner when he comes on. He ain't got a clue what he's talking about, but he's part of the Cannon Fodder TV, and he loves it.
Yeah.
You know. Sorry, John the Gooner, the geezer. I'm only joking.
He's funny. No, he's good, John. Hopefully, we'll get him on at some point. I know Sunday.
He's not too well at the moment, is he not?
I have not heard, but yeah, I'm sure.
John, if you're not geezer, if you're not very well, get well soon, mate. I think you said before that you weren't feeling too good, were you? So get well soon.
Get well, mate. But no, guys, thank you very much for your participation tonight. Des, thanks for coming on again. Good little
Always
show.
a pleasure, Paul. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on. You do a great show, mate. We cover a lot of things, and keep up the. I nearly beat then. Keep up the blooming good work, mate. It's you do a great job. So crack on, and I'm glad I can be part of it. So thank you very much, and thank you to the chat out there. You're a big part of this chat. Remember that. You keep the show flowing. So thank you for that as well. Cheers, Paul.
No problem, mate. No problem. Just the last one. Where has Eltel been? I'm not sure, but he's
in Ireland, I believe. Colin, he's in Ireland. He's over there quite a lot now.
He's at home, probably in the rain, probably a windy coast. And last time I spoke to him, he was on Stormwatch. So obviously,
you've got to get the Godfather on. He's an absolute.
He's
an absolute diamond.
Yeah, we'll try and get some more of the regulars as well. See what we can do. But yeah, Colin, Lynn, John the Gooner, anyone who I've missed, thank you for your comments. Look forward to speaking to you all next week. And 3 points.
Come on.
Let's make it happen, Gooners. And
you know you want it. You know you want it.
You've been watching Cannon Fodder TV. Up the Arsenal, top of the league.